Thanks. I want to start out by saying tonight is October 8th, and it's the third storytelling event that I've been to, the third. And my mom and dad have been to the first two. They're not here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not here tonight, oh yeah, because it's their 60th wedding anniversary. So they're having a quiet dinner somewhere. Okay, so like I said, this is my third time here, and my prior stories have included scenes from Eastern Europe. And so I'd understand if any of you in the audience would think, does this guy ever just go to the Dells or the Smoky Mountains or Disney? So Disney, I did go to Disney once. And I wasn't 5 years old, I wasn't 10 years old, I wasn't 15 years old. I was 30. This is back in the mid-90s. In my Disney story, it doesn't start at the entrance to the Magic Kingdom. You don't see the Cinderella's castle in the background. I don't come gliding in on the monorail, and I don't spin around on the teacups. My Disney story, it starts 10 miles southeast of there, near an unnamed lake and a couple of palm trees, deliberately placed outside a contrived dockside bar on Pleasure Island. Now, Pleasure Island, in Disney's 1940 animated film, Pinocchio, Pleasure Island was the happy place for boys to go and have a good time. Every day was a holiday. The catch, though, for those boys was that after drinking and smoking and shooting pool, they turned into donkeys. So there I am on Pleasure Island, and I'm sitting inside this dockside bar, and I'm staring straight ahead at what looked like 7-Eleven Slurpee machines. But it's not the brown, cola-flavored slush that's spinning around. It's the orange, yellow, and green of frozen margaritas. And I'm not a margarita guy, so I'm sitting there drinking a beer on my own. It's a Tuesday night, about 7 p.m. in April. So into the bar walk a couple, a man and a woman in their mid-20s, and the guy sits down to my left. It looks like they're dressed on a date. So the guy looks over at me and he sees that I'm there on my own, so he introduces himself. And he's Alex, and his girlfriend is Gloria. And they're stopping in for a drink before they go next door to the movies. They're locals. So then Alex asks about me. So I tell him the truth. I say I'm from Chicago, and I'm down here with my ex-girlfriend to join her sister and her sister's husband and their kids at Disney. And so the guy looks at me and he goes, ex-girlfriend. And I said, yeah, after we booked the trip, we broke up. I've been traveling a lot for work. She's been spending time in the bars. I think she's seeing an old boyfriend. And this guy says, so you still came down here with her? And I said, yeah, I think we both thought that this trip might bring us back together, but it's not working out, and we're sharing the same room. So I just had to get out of there tonight. So I could see that my story connected with this guy for some reason, and he felt bad for me. So he says, you know what? Later tonight, why don't you meet up with us? After the movie, we're going to go to another bar. It's not far from here. It's called Cheers. So I look at the guy and I say, yeah, maybe I'll catch up with you guys. So they finish their drinks, and they leave the bar, and they go to the movies. And I continue to sit there and stare straight ahead at the frozen margarita machines. And so I order another beer, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, why did I come down on this trip? And I'm not that far along in my beer, and somebody else comes into the bar. And this guy walks up next to me, and I look, and it's the same guy. It's Alex. But he's alone this time. And he says, the movie is sold out. My girlfriend and I are going to this Cheers bar now. She's waiting in the car. Are you in? Now, I'm not an adventurous person. I've never hitchhiked. I don't ride with strangers. So I look at this guy, and I go, yeah, I'm in. So I finish my beer, and I walk out with him. And we walk out through this alleyway. It's like a secret walkway where you leave Disney and you enter the behind-the-scenes Orlando. The Orlando of like strip malls and gas stations and empty lots. And so he takes me to a Toyota Celica, pretty nice car. His girlfriend's behind the wheel. And we get in, and we're on our way. So here we are. Gloria's driving, Alex is in the passenger seat, and I'm in the back, and this is a small car, and I'm on this high from the beer and this adrenaline rush, because I don't know what's going to happen next. And if for some reason I want to get out of this car, one of the two of them is going to have to let me out. So in about 10 minutes, we pull into a parking lot, and there's a building, darkened windows, and above the windows it says, Cheers. So we walk into the bar, and it's kind of big, so there's at the back is a big long bar, and in the middle is a dance floor, and on one side are dartboards, and on the other side are pool tables. And it's still kind of early in the night, it's fairly empty. So Alex walks back to the bar, and he buys a round of drinks, and he takes them over to the dartboard. Now the dartboard is, the electronic plastic kind, it's black and red and yellow. It's got like the digital readout on it. So Alex punches in the game 301. So now we're going to play against each other. Now I'm not that big of a darts player, but all of a sudden I'm playing the best darts game of my life. I'm like hitting triple 18 and double bullseye. So as I start taking the lead in this game, Gloria starts smiling at me. And every time that she would pass the darts to me, her hand would brush my hand. And I'm thinking like, holy shit, I don't want anything to do with this girl. This is Alex's girlfriend. These two are my ride out of here. I don't want to piss Alex off. So I throw my last dart and I hit 777 and I win the game. And so Gloria congratulates me with a hug and Alex gives me a look. So we finish up at darts and we kind of move over. And so now I'm on this high. I'm on the high from the beer and the adrenaline and Gloria smiling at me. And I've got to be like really aware to make sure Alex doesn't think I'm hitting on his girlfriend. So now we go over to a table and we order some appetizers. And it seems like Alex is doing okay. And he asks me, he goes, how did you get from your hotel to Pleasure Island? And I said, the Disney bus. And so he says, when we're done here tonight, we'll just drive you all the way back to your hotel. So I'm like, okay. So we finish our dinner, and then a new guy shows up. He walks in, and this guy's got like this dark, handsome face, and he's got this black hair slicked back, and he's wearing like a white dress shirt kind of open at the top, and these dress slacks. And they know this guy, and they introduce me to him, and he's got some Cuban name. And it turns out, so they know him, they're friends. And so I'm looking at Alex, and he's standing really close to Gloria, like he knows Gloria better than Alex knows Gloria. Like he was once Gloria's boyfriend. And like he's standing that way just to mock Alex. And I can see that Alex is feeling uncomfortable. Now at this point, I'm feeling a little bit relieved personally, because I thought maybe Alex might be worried about me hitting on his girlfriend. Now he's got bigger problems. So now we go over to the pool tables and we decide to play 8-ball. And somebody says, let's play teams. Now I don't remember how this happened at all, but the teams were Gloria and the Cuban against Alex and me. And so now I'm feeling sorry. I'm feeling bad for Alex. And the thing that I want most is to help Alex beat this Cuban guy at pool. So now I want to play the best pool game I've ever played in my life. And I'm doing pretty good. I'm making all these bank shots. I'm even hopping the cue ball over their ball to sink ours. And Alex and I were working together. We're like helping each other pick the next shot, and we're thinking like several shots down. We're trying our hardest And the game is really close, but Alex and I lost. Well, it wasn't long after that the three of us are back in the Toyota Celica. Gloria's driving, Alex is in front, I'm in the back, and it's absolutely quiet. They drop me off at the Disney bus stop, and they take off. So a short bus ride later, I'm in the area of the Disney All-Star Resort. That's the hotel that I was staying at. And it's, pretty far off in the distance. So I'm walking to this resort. Now this is like a combination of 3 places. There's 30 buildings. So I know generally where I'm going. So I'm walking and I hear a sound behind me of like a golf cart. And this golf cart pulls up next to me and I look and there's this older gentleman in the golf cart and he's a Disney employee. I can tell that because he's got the Mickey Mouse ears on his polo shirt. And he's wearing like khakis. So I don't know if I mentioned, but this is like midnight. So there's nobody around, just me and this guy in the golf cart. And he smiles at me. And he says, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm staying at the Disney All-Star Resort in the music one, and I'm in like building 5. Is that a long way from here?" And the guy looks at me and smiles, and then he pats the seat on the golf cart next to him. So I take my next ride with a stranger that night. This guy buzzes me over to my building in this 30-building complex. So he drops me off, he takes off. And now I'm going back to the hotel room, so I walk to this building, and there's steps going up, and my ex-girlfriend and I are in this 3rd floor room. But before I go up the steps, I take a look at the outdoor swimming pool. And again, it's late at night, there's nobody out, the water's perfectly calm, it's reflecting the porch lights from the hotel rooms. And there's all these reclining lounge chairs, on the pool deck, and everything's like empty and quiet and perfect. And then I go up the stairs to the 3rd floor and I walk along this walkway. And these hotels, every room looks the same. So what the kids do that are staying with their parents in these rooms is they put their stuffed animal collection in the front window, between the drape and the front window. So they can identify their room when they're walking down this row. So I'm walking down the row, kind of look at those windows, and I know my window, the window that me and my ex-girlfriend are in, there's no toys in the window. So I get to that one and I take the keys out and I'm starting to put the key in the door, and I look over at the window of the room next door, all the stuffed animals there, and there's one stuffed animal that's like looking up at me, and it's a stuffed donkey. And so I stop and I don't put the key in the door, and I walk back down along that walkway, and I walk back down the steps, and I look at that pool deck and all those reclining loungers, and I decide I'm going to pick one of those out. One of those to spend the night on. Thank you.